Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time is a little bit comic book adjacent. It is comics, but not quite the same. I want to talk to you a little bit about Fumetti. But before I do that, I want to recommend a couple other YouTube channels I come across on here that I like. One is, this is all one word, Black Boxed Silver and Bronze. That's Black Boxed Silver and Bronze channel. All about comics. And another one just called Comics and Stuff. Comics and Stuff. So check those out. Okay, Fumetti. Now, for the comic book audience in general, the Marvel Fumetti book is probably your introduction, as it was mine, introduction into Fumetti, and maybe the only thing you've ever been aware of. And you go, what the heck is Fumetti? Well, Fumetti, or the singular is fumetto, is Italian, and it means little puffs of smoke. And more literally, it refers to Italian comics. That is, comics which originated in Italy. But when in English and others refers to Photocomics, which are a form of sequential storytelling utilizing photography along with the normal comics conventions of dialogue, balloons, captions, and sound effects, rather than drawn illustrations. And yeah, the photos may be of live models, toys, posed figures in staged scenes. They are less common than regular comics, but have been used to adapt film and TV, etc., and as well has been used in instruction, for example, like in medical instruction and other learning instances. And they have been popular in Italy and Latin America, and largely to present soap opera style stories and romances. And they go back to attempts in the New York Daily News as far back as 1927. And they emerged in Italy in the 40s and 50s, and even actress Sophia Loren modeled for them early in her career. And in Latin America, they're used largely to adapt popular films in the 60s and 70s. And that's what we use them for here in the United States too, with the form that we see here as Fotonovels. See them here and here. But they were not very widely spread, and were quickly killed off by the advent of movies and being available for sale and rent on video. So here we take a little look at these Fumetti. And of course, the most obvious one to talk about here, of course, is the Marvel Fumetti book. I have a couple copies of these. It's and it's really not very good, but it was just a fun little attempt. Here's the cover, starring Stan Lee, and has other writers and artists from the bullpen. And you can see that's a good contrast right there to the production on the slick side and the newsprint side. these, of course, black and white photographs, and did not copy that well when they produced it. And this just has little skits, introductions. Here's Spider-Man giving a tour of the offices. Somebody in a Spider-Man costume. And just to have little skits with creators, and even have the Hulk, someone in a foam Hulk costume, go rampaging through part of it, and it's kind of fun. But it's an introduction to the format, and I have shown you some of my Weirdo magazines, and early on in that run, they did quite a bit of little Fumetti skits in there. Now, then in 1991, I picked this up. This and another one is Fotoromance Darling. And this is an Italian publication, but it's translated into English. And I had another one. I got this at a large used bookstore called Black and Red here in the Denver area. And at that time, they had one whole wall covered with racks of magazines from magazines and publications from all over the world. And I found a couple of these, and I thought, hey, those are pretty neat. And I thought, here you can see, get an idea of what's in there. Just nice photographs, word balloons, and telling a story. And see if we can get where it does get a little bit romantic somewhere. I don't know where. Anyway, and I bought this and another volume, another title, and the other one got damaged, and I wound up getting rid of it, and I wished I had kept it. And I got these primarily, so hey, that could be some good photo reference for some backgrounds, figures, settings, and stuff like that. And I have used these magazines for that. And a few months later, I said, hey, I think I'd like to get some more. I went back to the bookstore, and they had completely removed all of the magazine racks, and got no longer got magazines distributed to them. And when I talked with the guy who was working there at the time, when I tried to explain this to him, he had no idea. First, I called them Fumetti because I knew that's what they were called, and he didn't know. When I just tried describing it to him, he just could not conceive of what I was telling him. So, Fotoromance Darling. Then a few years later, I picked up this one at the Tattered Cover bookstore, which is, of course, in Denver, is supposed to be the largest bookstore west of the Mississippi. And this is in French. And it is a French publication. And the whole thing is in French. And, of course, I got this. This is, it has articles, some recipe stuff, romance stories, and prose stories, as well as, I think, 3 or 4 Fumetti stories in here. And it's all in French, so I can't even read it, but it doesn't matter. The pictures is what I got it for. So it is a worldwide phenomenon. It's very soap opera-y. And then here we have the stuff from the U.S. I have several more photo novels, but I just got a few to show you to highlight this. And these were from like 78 to 82, around in there. Photo novel of the movie Nightwing. This is about based on the Martin Cruz Smith novel movie about vampire bats. It's been a long time since I've read this. A swarm of rabid vampire bats or something like that. You can see instead of regular balloons, it's just the dialogue printed in white on, and it is very small, The print is very small and sometimes difficult to read depending on the color of the background it's printed on. And of course, now I only got, they were fairly prolific for a few years and had a variety of movies and TV shows. And I just bought ones when they were first published and later picked up several of them of stuff that I was interested in, which was primarily science fiction stuff. So here we have Star Trek the Motion Picture. Yay! Photo Story, of course, the first movie. See? Boom, boom. Battlestar Galactica. This is from the theatrical release of version of Battlestar Galactica, which was slightly different from the premiere of Battlestar Galactica, the movie. I mean, the TV series. It had some changes in it and stuff edited out. And then here is Buck Rogers in the 25th century, and this happened to be, I happened to get this one several years ago, signed by actress Erin Gray, who played Wilma Deering. And of course, this is from the movie, theatrically released movie of Buck Rogers before it was a TV series. And then, of course, then here is Wrath of Khan, Star Trek II. And this one was in black and white to help keep the cost down, in black and white, and had actual captions with dialogue in them rather than the balloons. So it is done a little differently. And I know these stuff goes back to the to the 60s in the U.S. I've never seen them myself, but I know they do, because Jason Mink of Old Guys Who Like Old Comics did an episode on them, and he showed a couple of magazines that were Fumetti versions of a couple of low-budget horror movies from the 60s. And then they had a whole series of the Star Trek TV series episodes in photo novel form. And this is and they weren't produced in the order of the episode appearance. This is Where No Man Has Gone Before. I think they did 12 of them, and I think I have all 12. If not, I might just be missing one or possibly two, and I have duplicate copies of some. Very young Shatner. So, yeah, and I have those, and I have several others as well, both of Star Trek and a few other things. So that is what I've got. I was just wanting to give you a little, introduce you to this format, and show you, give you a little bit of the history of these publications. Nothing wants to stand up right like it's supposed to. So that's what I got. Thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe. If you've got someone else who would know someone who would be interested in this stuff, but maybe has never seen or heard of it, or share this video with them. And what Fumetti have you seen or read or bought over the years? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Comics, even when they're just photographs, comics are art.